aka Scoot, back with the Pokemon Battle Federation Season 8, Week number 2, and we're taking on Andy, coach of the St. Louis Carbinks. Longtime rival. I think we've been here, we're the only two coaches that have been here all 8 seasons in the Pokemon Battle Federation. So yeah, that's pretty cool. My opponent has a very scary squad with like, it's very unorthodox looking on paper, but like in game it's, in my opinion, it's just so scary. He's got the Snubbull, Magnemite, Archon, Poliwag, Drowsy, Makuhita, Nidoran, the male version. What's this thing's called? Bond Sweet, something like that. And then he's got the Zorua. Oh, and the Swinub. So, yeah, very scary squad. He has, what, 3 potential Stealth Rock users. He has Volt Turn, Intimidate users, Thick Fat. And then he's got Drowsy, which could be problematic with Wish Protect and things like that. And then Swinub gets Priority Ice Shard, gets Earthquake and Icicle Crash. It's similar to Mamoswine and Piloswine. Basically the same mon, really. And then Magnemite's insane in Little Cup, in my opinion. But we do have a pretty cool squad ourselves. Meowth, Diglett, Mankey, Badoo, Smoochum, Staryu, Larvesta, Azurill, Bonsly, and Corphish. So, yeah, pretty cool squad, and we've decided to bring Diglett, Mankey, Badoo, Staryu, Larvesta, and Smoochum. And we can go ahead and hop into the team builder real quick. We've got a Sash Lead Diglett with Memento, so we can set up our Stealth Rocks. We've got Earthquake for just stab, basically. Sucker Punch for like priority, catch something off guard potentially. And then Memento, just like if we're not useful elsewhere, we can Memento down and then allow something else to put in the work, such as Mankey, Badoo, Smoochum, so on and so forth. This thing can trap a Magnemite. It can switch in on a Magnemite as well and take the incoming Flash Cannon as long as Stealth Rocks are not up. It basically traps everything on his team, knocks things out like Nidoran, Zorua, as long as it's not like a Sash or anything like that. So yeah, it's really nice to have, just to be able to trap and eliminate threats that could potentially, or not so much threats, but like checks and counters to my other Pokemon. So I could potentially open something up for something like my Choice Scarf Mankey here, which has U-Turn, Close Combat, Night Slash, and Iron Tail. We've got the Defiant ability. My opponent does have an Intimidate user in Snubbull, which I do think he will bring to kind of check Mankey, and maybe Meowth as well. Maybe like a Rocky Helmet or a Berry Juice variant, maybe an Eviolite variant. However, we are very offensively invested. We are max attack. Couldn't run Adamant. We had to run Jolly so that we could potentially speed tie with certain things. As you can see, we top out at 16 speed. And then U-Turn. I guess he has switch-ins such as Drowsy and potentially like a really fat Makuhita and Nidoran and things like that. So I've got U-Turn on here to gain momentum. But I do have Close Combat Spam for the in-game. Night Slash for Drowsy. If I can predict the Drowsy switch in, then I can just click Night Slash, and if I can predict the Snubbull switch in, I can click Iron Tail, which will be a +1 Iron Tail thanks to my Defiant, if he is indeed Intimidate. However, that's only for like a mid to late game, or if I need to make a play or something like that, because I do have Badoo, which is a by type a natural switch in to the Snubbull, to the Magnemite, to the Poliwag, to the Makuhita, the Nidoran, basically everything that's not Swinub. And does he got a Fire type? I don't think he's got a Fire type. So yeah, we've got Giga Drain and Sludge Bomb, dual stab, hits basically everything on his team outside of the Nidoran, which we do have and the Magnemite, which we do have the hidden power ground for. And then we've got synthesis on here for longevity. We are very, very bulky with max SPDF, max defense, a little bit of HP investment, and the Eviolite. This makes our, we take the least amount of damage this way from basically everything on his team. We can come in, we can be paralyzed, we can be put to sleep, we can be frozen, burned, whatever it may be. We can switch out and get our natural cure ability, and then move on from there. So yeah, that's our first 3 Pokemon. Diglett, Mankey, Badoo. Next up we've got Staryu, which is a Life Orb, 3 attacks, analytic variant with Rapid Spin. So we're timid, max speed, max special attack with Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, and Thunderbolt. With Life Orb, we're able to do insane amounts of damage to his team. He doesn't really have a switch in to this. He doesn't at all. So yeah, that's really nice. And his switch-ins that he does have, thanks to analytic, it makes them not a switch-in. So yeah, it's really, really, really nice with the Life Orb and the analytic ability. When something switches in on an Ice Beam or a Thunderbolt or a Hydro Pump, it's basically almost like I have the adaptability ability, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Thunderbolt is there for the Poliwag, and the Ice Beam is there for the, what is it, Bunsweet? And then Hydro Pump, Stab, basically for everything else. We have 8 of them, so that should be enough to do what we need to do. And Rapid Spin is there because our next Pokemon is Larvesta. And not only that, but we have Smoochum, as you can see on the end screen. But yeah, both these Pokemon weak to Rock, so Rapid Spin really, really nice. So yeah, we have Flame Charge, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Morning Sun with the Electrium Z. This thing is here to try to catch a Poliwag or a Poliwag or what's it called? The Archon with the Wild Charge or the Gigavolt Havoc, depending on what I need at the time. So yeah, it's really nice. Flame Charge gives me a +1 boost in speed, which is super cool. Flare Blitz and Wild Charge put out massive amounts of damage. Morning Sun is there for longevity. I can maybe potentially boost, or not boost, but Roost, recover my HP on things like Snubble or like a Bunsweet, potentially a like a Swinub if it becomes like a win condition in the late game or something like that. We do have just a little bit of speed investment to speed creep things, and so that after a +1 Flame Charge boost, that we are faster than some potential Choice Scarf users. And then after that, we're mixed evenly in defenses with 156 defense and special defense EVs, which just makes us all around as bulky as possible. So that's really nice. Next up, we've got Jadakiss, our Smoochum, which is a Berry Juice variant. We are rocking the Berry Juice so that we can switch in on things like Drowsy, and I guess we can kind of switch in on things like Nidoran and maybe a Snubble if it's like defensive, which I expect it to be. Anyways, we've got the Berry Juice, so if we do get hit and go below half or have 2 switch-ins onto Stealth Rock, our Berry Juice will pop. We'll be back at full. We've got Nasty Plot and Ice Beam, which can semi-check a Drowsy, maybe. We've also got Psychic, so his things that resist Ice Beam, like Poliwag and Swinub potentially, are bought by Psychic. Now, we don't have a super effective way to hit Magnemite or even a neutral way, but I feel like my team deals with that solidly enough. I've got Choice Scarf Mankey, Sash Dougie, Dougie Jr. that is. And then we've got Mean Look. So Mean Look is so that if we run into like a mono psychic Drowsy, I can Mean Look it so that it can't switch out, and then use it as setup fodder, because I can take up to 3, if he's not offensive obviously, I can take up to 3 psychic type attacks, and then my Berry Juice will pop, and I'll be able to take 4 more, potentially, maybe more. It just depends. So yeah, that's the idea behind the team, and we can go ahead and hop into the replay, and we'll be right back. Okay, so here we are with the replay, and my opponent chooses to bring the Archon, Poliwag, Nidoran, male. I don't really need to say male after that. Swinub, Makuhita, and the Snubble. So pretty interesting squad. We brought the team that we just discussed from the team building section. I don't think we changed anything. I'm pretty sure we didn't. So, yeah, my opponent brings 2 potential Stealth Rockers. When I said in the team building section, I said that there was 3 potential rockers. That's if Needlebrand gets it. I don't know if it actually does, but if it does, that's 3 potential. If it doesn't, then that's 2 potential Stealth Rockers, and then we do have Star U to Rapid Spin, so that's really nice. So yeah, lead potentials. He could lead with one of his Stealth Rockers, which are weak to Star U. And seeing that, I thought maybe he could lead with Poliwag or Makuhita. But either way, I still wanted to lead off with my Star U, because it was like best case scenario if he didn't lead with Makuhita, and he wasn't like a Choice Scarf on something like Archon and went for U-turn, which still wouldn't knock me out or anything like that. Anyways, we do have Star U in here. We could click Life Orb Hydro Pump. We're just going to switch out here into our Larvesta, eat this close combat up. Not really eat it, it does over half, but we're going to be able to Morning Sun up, and then we can switch out accordingly here as he goes into the Poliwag, and we go hard into our Badoo. We eat up the Waterfall, basically bounces off. Now we have an option here. My opponent doesn't know our moveset, but we could click Spikes or Sleep Powder or anything like that, so it'd be interesting to see what he switches into. However, we could just click Giga Drain or Hidden Power Ground, and we're just going to click the Giga Drain here as he goes into the Nidoran, and now we're going to reveal Hidden Power Ground, which reveals to be a 2-hit KO as he sets up a Toxic Spike. Then he reveals Sucker Punch, and he gets a critical hit, which I don't think it matters too much, and we're able to knock him out with the Hidden Power Ground here. And now he brings in the Archon, as we're going to switch out into our Smoochum. Reason being, as you can see, Smoochum actually kind of matches up well in this matchup, but I felt like it was still the least important, as I need Badoo to come back in on Toxic Spike and absorb that. I need Larvesta for Snubble and Makuhita. I need Diglett just to trap things and for Stealth Rocks, and then Mankey's kind of like a late game close combat win condition. So yeah, definitely didn't want to get rid of anything else. And he goes into the Makuhita here, which allows me to go straight into Badoo and absorb the Toxic Spike and get a Toxic Poison on him with my Sludge Bomb. As he clicks Knock Off here and knocks us out, I think that reveals to be like Choice Band or something. Anyways, we're just going to go for the Flame Charge here as he goes for Knock Off and gets a critical hit. Very unfortunate, but we are at +1 speed here. And here we're going to go for the Morning Sun, predicting our opponent to go for the Ice Shard or Stealth Rocks, but he chooses not to. And now we're down 4-3, which is a little bit unfortunate, especially at turn 10, so soon in the battle. And Larvesta being really, really nice in the matchup. So that's really unfortunate. But yeah, we're going to bring in Mankey here, and we're going to actually make a prediction here. And we're going to go for the Iron Tail. And Iron Tail actually covered 3 plays. It covered him staying in with Swinub. It covered Snubble and Archon. So that's 3 plays it covered. So I think it was a fine play there. As, I guess he could have went into Poliwag, but then he risked like losing to Star U a whole lot easier. So yeah. There's that. So yeah, let's see what he goes into here. He's going to go into this Poliwag, and we're locked into Iron Tail, so we obviously want to switch out. He goes for the Waterfall, and then goes for the Facade, as we're able to get a Thunderbolt off, as he reveals to be the Wakan Berry. So very nice prep there. And we're going to win the second speed tie. See, we're both max speed. And now he's going to be able to bring in his Swinub here, as we miss a Hydro Pump. But Mankey should be able to come in and click Close Combat here, which we eat up the Ice Shard, knock this thing out because it's not sashed, thankfully, and then he's got the Archon, which will take significant damage if not be knocked out by the close combat, which will allow Diglett to come in and get the following, get the last knockout with Sucker Punch, I do believe. So yeah, it's going to be a nice 1-0 victory here to start a nice little mini streak at 2-0 for our record so far. Unfortunately, Andy falls to 0-2, but I'm sure he will bounce back. So yeah, really nice game here. Unfortunate that we did get crit by the knockoff because with Makuhita on Larvesta, because we could have potentially put in some work right there with the Flame Charge into Flare Blitz and Gigavolt Havoc and Wall Charge, so on and so forth. So yeah, that could have been pretty cool. But it is what it is. Pokemon sometimes happens like that. And we're still going to get a nice 1-0 victory here with Diglett and Mankey getting some kills. So that's really nice. But yeah, good game to Andy. Good luck in the rest of the season. Let me know what you thought about the prep and the battle on both sides of the field. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. All the good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.